You know, I hate driving. I wish that I lived someplace where I didn't have to drive, where I could just walk everywhere, take a metro, take a bus, because, I don't know, I just hate it. Like, I hate having to drive. I think driving is dangerous. It stresses me out. I want to live in a community. I want to live in a place where I can walk to the grocery store, walk to get a bag of chips or something, You know, I just hate it. I hate the suburbs so much. I've always hated it. With every fiber of my being. It's the most soulless place imaginable. And I think that people who live in the city are a hell of a lot happier than people that live in the suburbs. It's a very lonely kind of place, really. Nobody talks to each other. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go to. And we all end up sitting in our houses or on our phones because there's just nothing. And I grew up in the suburbs and I hated it. And I still hate it. And I don't have a choice because of financial issues, you know. But it sucks, man. And I guess there are people who like living in the suburbs, but I hate it, man. I think it's just healthier to be able to walk more. I think we'd have less obese people in this world, more healthy people. I think it's an unhealthy living environment, a shitty living environment, full of strip malls and fast food, and I just imagine that people coming from other countries, especially like Europe, come here and just they can see how incredibly unhealthy this environment is, and we can't because we're in it. And I realize that it's safer to raise your kids or whatever, but I don't have kids. I'm single, and it's boring. Like, it's so boring. I mean, what is there to do? Go to Starbucks, walk around this stupid shopping center with a Hungry Howie's and a Harris Teeter. Like, that's no way to live life, man. You know, this whole way of life, I think, is killing us. And for those of us who have depression, I think it worsens our depression. You know, I know that if I was in an environment where I could walk around and I felt like I was in a community and not just like a housing development, I'd be a lot happier. So I think there are a lot of people who feel like me. They may not even realize it. So part of the depression, yeah, is chemical. It's the way you're born. But part of it is the environments that we are given. You know, and the unhealthy environments and the unhealthy food and the unhealthy living. And we turn to our phones to get relief from it. So that's why we're always on our phone, because we're so anxious and so frustrated with the environment that we're in. So I don't know what the answer is. I just have always felt like the powers that be want it that way. You know, it's a way of controlling us. I believe the people who build these shitty shopping centers that are complete mazes in the middle of nowhere, they don't have to live there. They're just building it. I live in North Carolina, and every shopping center is crazy. It's just, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's got like water fountains and like cross circles, and it's like, this is in France, this is in Europe. Like, why do we need this shit? You know, why can't we have just normal shopping centers, just a strip mall with a couple shops here and there, and then you drive away? It's just, I don't know, it's just, I hate it. And I don't think it's just relegated to North Carolina. I think it's the whole country this way. We are a very unhealthy environment, and only in major cities like New York and Chicago, and that's probably about it. And maybe certain inner cities, do you have a community feel? The rest of it is just kind of bland and soulless, and it's no different. You know, a shopping center here in North Carolina is no different than a shopping center in Virginia, or a shopping center in Texas, in some suburb, or a shopping center in LA. They're all the same. And I think we've gotten away from that community spirit. And I think when we get away from that community spirit is when the depression hits. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I mean, I would say move away, but unfortunately, you know, I don't have the money to do that or the resources, and I don't think many people do. So we just have to put up with what we can.